number one thing that I learned is that you are more capable than you think of doing a lot of stuff. The first day of boot camp was crazy. I broke my finger. It's broke to this day. You see how this is crooked like that? See how this is crooked like that? And this one's straight and this one's crooked. The first day of boot camp, they got you all up in here. They're kind of just getting you in here like cattle, but you gotta go through all this process and get all these shots, do all this type of crazy shit. And you sitting crisscross applesauce on what looked like hospital floors for a very long time. And I was sitting down there crisscross applesauce, everybody else sitting crisscross applesauce, and one of the drill instructors comes in and he goes, "Everybody get up." And I wanted to get up as fast as possible, so I got up. If this was the ground, I put my hand on the ground like this. I don't know why. And the guy next to me stood on top of my hand, and my shit went and I literally broke my finger that way the very first day of boot camp. But I was so scared of getting in trouble and being dropped, is what they call it. That's when basically you have to go to the class behind you because you can't complete the training in the time that's required to graduate on the day that you're supposed to graduate. But my parents had already called off of work for the day I'm supposed to graduate, October 15th, 2015. That's the day I graduated. That's the day that they had already taken off work, and it wasn't going to change. So I knew that if I got recycled, I probably wasn't going to have anybody at my graduation. So I persevered and I pulled through, and I did all of boot camp. I became a Marine with a broken finger. And one of the craziest parts about being through boot camp with your pointer finger being broken is that we do this thing called close order drill. It's where you basically take the rifle and you're doing rifle manual with your platoon, and you're supposed to do it all in sync. It's actually a very nice thing to do and watch. I love being a part of close order drill. It's amazing. But one of the basic moves is to pull your charging handle. The charging handle is the handle on the top of the weapon that you pull to charge it. But you have to basically keep your elbows close and you have to pull this charging handle just like this, right? But I broke my finger the first day of boot camp, and you have to pull this motherfucker, and you need to pull it and it needs to snap. Like you need to boom, just like this, right? My shit's broken. But I don't know how I did it, but like I told you, you are more capable than you think. I was pulling that motherfucker almost to the point I just went numb to my fucking finger being broken, and it actually healed itself. By the end of boot camp, they did like a final call. They were like, okay, is anybody actually hurt? Like, we know that you guys might not want to tell us that you guys were hurt because you didn't want to get recycled, you guys didn't want to get in trouble, you didn't want to seem like a bitch, whatnot, but is anybody hurt? I was like, yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure I broke my finger on training day 1. And they were like, okay, well, we'll take you to medical. When I went to medical, the doctor was like, bro, your finger is healed up at this point. Like, you should have said something before. Like, it's just going to be like this. But, yeah. And then after that, my drill instructor was like, bro, you had a broken finger this whole time? He put me to the front of the platoon. And I actually got my little accolades right there, because he was like, this nigga's been pulling the fucking charger handle the whole cycle with a broken fucking finger. And some of you motherfuckers can barely pull that motherfucker down. And that's when I realized, I was just like, okay, I'm capable of more. And then when I got into the actual workforce after I got out of the Marine Corps, whenever I would face a challenge at work, I would always just tell myself, what if the circumstances were just the way they are and this is the way I had to do work? Like, what if this was just the normal? Like, if you have like a condition at work or something where you feel like, I don't know, things could be better. What if you just put yourself in the mindset that this is just the way it is and this is actually the best? This is actually, like, what if this was the best way or the best scenario that you could be in? What would you do then? Would you make it happen? Would your goal get accomplished? So that was number one. And I seen that through the Marine Corps, and I think about it every single day. Whenever I get into a situation where I'm like, things are tough, what if this is just how it was? Because realistically, this is how it is right now. Number 2, being present and speaking up is half the battle. At the end of the cycle, mind you, again, I'm still talking about boot camp. So I'm not even talking about like getting into the Marine Corps yet, but like boot camp was a lot of information, and it was really shaping for a young man like myself. But at the end of the cycle, one of our drill instructors, he told us that if anybody wanted to be the guide is basically the head of the platoon. He's like the captain of the platoon. Like it goes platoon, him, drill instructors. Like, the drill instructors talk to the guy talks to the platoon. Platoon, you know, it's like he is the spokesperson, he is the leader. When we go and we're interacting with other platoons, he is like the face of the platoon. So it's like you want a big, strong guide because that he literally represents the whole platoon. So at the end of the cycle, he said, who wanted to be guide? And a couple people raised their hand. And he said, do you know it only would have took you doing one thing to be guide? Every day we would get online and then we would have to go out of a door to go wherever we were going. And we'd have to get out the line very quickly. But it's a funnel. So anybody that knows about traffic or anything, when you go into that funnel, it's gonna start to slow up, right? So we would always get out the door a little bit slow, but the drill instructors are screaming the whole entire time. Go, 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 go. I done dropped the mic. And he said that all it would have took is for one of us to say, I'm gonna get out the door faster, and to kick somebody in the back. He literally said that. He said, if you wanted to be God, all you had to do was start acting like God. He said, also, if one of you guys would have just walked up to the guide and took the guide and said, I'm the guide, he would have let that slide. That's all it would have took, is for one of you guys to have the balls to walk up to him and take it. And I feel like I carried that into my real life after I got out of the Marine Corps. If you want that promotion, you need to speak up, okay? You need to act like this is my promotion. What do I have to do to get the promotion? Do you want that girl? Baby, I'm interested in you. What is it gonna take? This is what I'm willing to do. I'm gonna get it done. Nobody's gonna wait to hand you an opportunity. That's what he was saying. I wasn't gonna make a new guide. The new guide was gonna have to step up for himself and say, I want to be guide. And that was pretty powerful for me. The third thing is that 90 days is enough days to change your life. Once again, this is another boot camp story, but at the end of boot camp, one of our drill instructors, he was talking to us, he was like, who misses home? A certain amount of people raised up their hand. I was one of the people that raised their hand. He started asking us, what do you guys miss about home? Or I miss my family, or I miss doing this with my friends, or I miss doing that, I miss this, I miss that. And our drill instructor said, just like this, everything that was happening when you left is gonna be happening when you go home. The nigga that's working at the corner store is still gonna be working at the corner store. The nigga that's running around chasing girls, going to the club every weekend, he's still gonna be doing that, okay? Everything is going to be the same. The streets are going to look the same. People are going to be driving the same cars. They're going to be going to the same jobs. But you took 3 months out of your life and you became a United States Marine. Something that nobody can ever take from you. Something that you will carry with yourself for the rest of your life. You quite literally have changed your life in 3 months. And I'm sitting back like, damn, I did do that. I did do that in just 3 months. The power of 90 days, man, lock in anything you want. I feel like you shouldn't even consider yourself trying something unless you've tried it for 90 days. You can't say I tried something and it didn't work unless you tried for 90 days. Then maybe you can say, hey, let's switch up the plan. But until you get there, come on. And you'll be surprised how much you can get done in just that short time, in just that 12 weeks. The fourth thing that the Marine Corps taught me is slow is smooth and smooth is fast. There's so many times in the Marine Corps where you have to move fast, you have to move fast, you have to move fast. Quite literally, if you're not quick enough, it could cost lives. We're always working with urgency, all the time, all the time, all the time. But you have to work up to being fast. We would always break stuff down to the littlest minute thing first whenever we would start off. Before we would shoot, before they even taught us how to shoot, we learned the nomenclature of the weapon. The nomenclature is basically all the parts. We learned all the parts, all the functions of the weapon in a classroom setting. After that, we actually grabbed the weapon, we identified it, we learned how to take it apart. Then we literally sat down with the weapon and got into the positions that we were gonna sit in. And I'm talking days for each one of these. Like, I'm not talking like we did all this in one day. Each one of these steps was a couple days. Then we just sit with the weapon, looking down the sights for days at a time. Days, I'm telling you, days. Just sitting, crisscross applesauce, looking at barrels, looking at walls, sitting. You're not pulling your trigger, dry squeeze, dry squeeze, just all that. And then we got to actually putting rounds into the weapon. Then we began to actually shoot the weapon. And because we had started from ground zero and we were slow, things became smooth. And then when it was time to shoot, we were so smooth, things were fast. And that's why every Marine is a marksman, because we take it from slow to smooth, from smooth to fast. And you can take that and apply it to anything in your life. Anything in your life. That is the recipe. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You ever tried to rush out the door, try to go to work, or rush out anywhere? You're moving so fast that you're literally making it longer until you get out the door because you're messing stuff up. Just take your time, step back, slow down. Slow down, relax. Really think about what you're doing. Figure out what you're doing. If at all possible, plan before you get to a moment where you have to perform. Before a new job, my dad always drives to his new job the day before, just to see what it's like, just to see what the traffic looks like. My dad, yes, he would drive to work, to a new job the day before, just to see what it's like, just to see what the building looks like, what traffic looks like. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And the fifth and final thing that the Marine Corps taught me that I carry in my everyday life is military bearing. I'm a jokester. I like to joke all the time. I love to laugh. In my family, laughter was currency. That's the best way I can put it. I love to laugh. That's how I get through everything. That's how I work with everything, is I laugh. So, naturally being away from home and being in this scenario, things are very stressful. Actually, it wasn't that stressful for me because I came from a military home, so it was actually kind of funny. It was actually funny to me. The other people were struggling. Their ankles were swelling up because they had never stood up for this long. They're complaining, bum, 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 bum. It was funny to me. And I caught myself getting in trouble for laughing because ain't shit funny. Like, this is the Marine Corps. So I had to quickly gain control over my emotions and develop military bearing. Just the ability to remain professional and just presentable at all times, no matter the circumstances, no matter what's going on, you hold military bearing. And I have been able to definitely use that in my day-to-day, every day of my life since developing that skill. The Marine Corps was a great place for me to learn. It was a developmental period in my life, and I do recommend that any young man join the Marine Corps. I do think that it is a beautiful gun club. I'm proud to be a Marine. If you're thinking about going to the Marine Corps and that's why you're watching this video, shoot me a message or something. I'll definitely chop it up with you, talk to you about it. I was a reservist, okay? Now, some people are gonna talk shit about that. I don't give a, okay? I got my blood stripe, okay? I got my Eagle Globe and Anchor. I did everything. I was doing everything. I was doing everything I could, okay, to serve my country. But yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like, a share, possibly, and subscribe, because we're going to be doing this a lot.